Bridget never thought her life would change the day she walked into that street. The wrong one. It was supposed to be a normal evening. She was just coming back from work, tired, broke, and thinking about how unfair life had been to her. That was when she saw him. Tall, silent, surrounded by men who didn't smile. They called him the devil of the city. Bridget didn't know his name yet, but she felt danger the moment his eyes locked on hers. "Stop her," he yelled. Before Bridget could run, someone grabbed her arm. She tried to scream, but no one helped. No one ever helps when he is involved. They forced her into a black car. That was the moment it hit her, clearly. She was being kidnapped. When Bridget woke up, she was in a large room. Expensive, cold, empty. And he was there, watching her like she was something he owned. "You saw something you shouldn't have," he said calmly. Bridget's voice shook. "Please." "I didn't see anything." He stepped closer. "You did. And now you belong to me." Her heart dropped. "What do you mean, belong to you?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he placed a document on the table, a marriage contract. Her hands started shaking. "This is insane. I don't even know you." He leaned closer, his voice low. "You don't need to know me. You just need to obey me." Days passed. Bridget wasn't allowed to leave. She wasn't allowed to call anyone. Every door in the mansion was guarded. At first, she hated him. She refused to eat. She refused to speak. She refused to even look at him. But he never forced her. Every morning a tray of food appeared outside her door. Every evening another one followed, day after day, until finally hunger won. When she opened the door one morning, he was standing there, watching. "You'll make yourself sick," he said. Bridget glared at him. "Why do you care?" For a moment something flickered in his eyes. Then it disappeared. "I don't." But somehow, she didn't believe him. A week later, Bridget tried to escape. She waited until midnight, then quietly slipped through the mansion corridors. Her heart pounded as she reached the front gate. Freedom. She was only a few steps away. Then she heard his voice behind her. "Don't." She froze. Anger exploded inside her. "Why?" she shouted. "Because you own me?" "No," he said quietly. "Because they'll kill you before sunrise." Bridget stared at him. For the first time, he didn't sound threatening. He sounded afraid. Days later, Bridget fell sick. The stress, the fear, the sleepless nights. For 2 days, she barely left her bed. Every time she woke up, he was there, sitting beside her, silent, watching. One night, she opened her eyes and found a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. The room was cold, but she hadn't covered herself before falling asleep. The blanket could only have come from one person. For reasons she couldn't explain, the gesture stayed in her mind. Slowly, she began noticing things. The way everyone feared him. The way grown men lowered their eyes whenever he entered a room. The way he could terrify an entire city, yet somehow never raised his voice at her. It didn't make sense. And that frightened her most. One evening, rain hammered against the mansion windows. Bridget found him standing alone in the library, looking at an old photograph. For the first time, he looked lonely. Not dangerous, not powerful, just lonely. When he noticed her, he quickly put the photograph away, but not before she saw it. A woman, smiling. "Who was she?" Bridget asked softly. A shadow crossed his face. "My mother." Silence filled the room. Then he added quietly, "She was the last person who looked at me without fear." Bridget didn't know why, but her heart broke a little for him. A few nights later, a violent storm swept across the city. Thunder shook the mansion walls. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark. Bridget hated herself for it, but storms terrified her. A flash of lightning lit up the room, and for a brief second she saw someone standing in the doorway. Him. "You can't sleep either?" he asked. "No," she lied. The corner of his mouth almost lifted. Almost. Without another word, he walked into the room and sat in a chair across from her. Neither of them spoke, yet somehow his presence made the darkness feel less frightening. When morning came, she realized he had stayed there the entire night. Days later, they found themselves alone in the garden behind the mansion. For the first time, neither of them spoke about escaping, or marriage, or danger. They simply walked, side by side, in silence. And somehow, it felt peaceful. As Bridget turned to leave, he gently caught her wrist. The touch was brief, barely a second, but her heartbeat instantly betrayed her. His eyes met hers. Neither moved. Neither spoke. For a moment, the world seemed to disappear. Then he slowly let go, and somehow That felt more dangerous than if he hadn't touched her at all. From that day on, something changed. The walls she had built around her heart began to crack, and the monster everyone feared no longer looked like a monster to her. One night, she finally asked him, "Why me?" He stayed silent for a long time. Then he said something she didn't expect, "Because you looked at me like I was still human." That night changed everything, because Bridget realized something terrifying. She wasn't just trapped with a monster, she was falling in love with him. But love in his world is dangerous, and when his enemies found out she existed, everything fell apart. Gunshots echoed through the mansion halls. Glass shattered as Bridget dropped to the floor. He pulled her behind him. "Don't move," he said firmly. It was the first time she saw fear in his eyes, not fear of death, fear of losing her. As everything burned around them, he whispered, "If you survive this, forget me." Bridget cried, "I don't want to forget you." He smiled sadly. "You have to." For a moment, he looked at her again and whispered, "For the first time, I regret everything." Bridget looked at him. "Regret what?" He didn't answer. Instead, he pushed her toward the back exit. "Go, and don't look back." "Are you coming with me?" Bridget asked. He smiled sadly. "If I do, they'll never stop hunting you." She ran, and that was the last time she saw him. Bridget survived that night, but everything about him disappeared. No trace, no answers, no goodbye, only a memory she could never fully explain. But sometimes, at night, she still remembers his voice, and wonders if he saved her, or ruined her forever. The end.